Hello everyone and welcome back to another video from the Automotive Rate. We're at the 2023 edition of the Cars at Expo event, and in this video I'm going to show you some of the highlights here.
The Volvo XC40 Recharge is heavily based on the normal gas and hybrid versions of this car. It rides on the same platform and shares many body panels with just a few visual changes, which I will get into in a moment. The XC40 made its debut in 2018, while the Recharge fully electric model was released in 2019. In 2021, they also reviewed the C40, which is also related to this car, with the main difference being the body style. This XC40 Recharge has a more conventional SUV body style, while the C40 Recharge has a SUV coupe body style. In 2023, Volvo moved the electric motor from the front to the back, mainly to improve the range and efficiency. However, this one here is the front-wheel drive version, but anyways, powering this car will be a permanent magnet synchronous motor paired with a 69 kWh lithium-ion battery pack. This car makes 231 brake horsepower and 330 Nm of torque. Paired with front-wheel drive and a single-speed direct drive gearbox, this car accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in 7.4 seconds onto a top speed of 160 km per hour. Other markets also received the long-range model as well as a higher performance variant, but those have yet to arrive in Singapore. The claimed driving range is 425 km and has an energy consumption of 5 km per kWh. On max AC charging at 11 kW, it takes 7 hours to fully charge this car. Max DC fast charging at 130 kW will reduce the charging time to 30 minutes. Suspension setup consists of independent McPherson struts and multi-link, front and rear respectively. The rear-wheel drive model is set to arrive later this year, and this one shown is the front-wheel drive model. Moving to exterior design up front, this car does resemble the regular XC40. There are some body lines along the hood, the tall hammer-style LED daytime running lights with LED projector beam headlights and turn signals. Moving below, there is a van with gloss black design, which I don't really mind. Front and center will be this masked up front grille, which personally, I think it looks a little controversial. Down below, there will be some venting to cool the motors and batteries. To the side profile, it looks a lot like the standard XC40 with dual tone roof for this particular unit, along with Recharge embossed into the C-pillar with a floating roof design. Then there are gloss black mirror caps with LED integrated turn signals, black window surrounds, body colored door handles, body lines along the side, and some black plastic on the wheel arches. Standard for this car will be 19-inch dual-tone aluminum alloy wheels with a very sophisticated and aerodynamic design. I think it looks really good on this car. Round back, all the way to the top will be a roof-mounted rear spoiler. Moving down, the LED taillights are identical to the standard XC40, and there are some badging to the center. Recharge badging replaces the standard T or B series because this is a fully electric car. All the way to the bottom, there will be rear fog lights and matte black plastic rear diffuser. Open the rear tailgate and you get 483 liters of cargo space, and that can be expanded to a massive 1359 liters after knocking down the rear seats. Having that practical SUV body style also allows you to load taller items into the cargo area, which might be handy when you're hauling furniture or large items. The front storage area is much smaller, but decently big for your charging cables or loose items. Entering the rear seats of this car, you'll feel that this is a very comfortable space to be in. The seat cushioning is very comfortable while providing great support, making it ideal for long journeys. I get quite a lot of headroom despite the panoramic sunroof, and also plenty of legroom keeping in mind this is a subcompact crossover. However, the rear seats are better left for just 2 people as the width is restricted. After all, this is a subcompact crossover which is a class smaller than the compact, so shoulder room is tight for 3 people. A center armrest with 2 cup holders can be folded down if there's just 2 people at the back. The rear aircon vents also adds a nice touch to the rear seats, while the panoramic sunroof makes the interior feel very spacious. But anyways, moving to the front cabin of this car, the interior feels just as solid from the door panel to the other touch points in the front cabin. The top of the passenger dashboard is finished in soft touch materials, and there's a little wood design on the passenger dashboard. Open the glove box and you get a good amount of space, and what I like about the interior, specifically the front cabin of this car, is the overall design and layout. I like the vertical aircon vents and the integration of the touchscreen. Standard for this car will be this 9-inch touchscreen infotainment system with wide Apple CarPlay and no Android Auto connectivity. But Google Assistant and Google Maps is integrated into the operating system, so I guess that's good. Also, you get a 250-watt 8-speaker premium sound system. The interior design is very clean since the aircon controls have been integrated into the touchscreen. Below that will be the audio controls, and all the way to the bottom will be the wireless charger along with a couple of charging ports. The gear lever is very well finished with leather trims, and beside that will be 2 cup holders. Behind that, there will be a lid that can be opened to reveal some storage area, and if you were to open the lid on the center armrest, it will reveal plenty of space for your loose items. Overall interior build quality up front is very upscale and premium, which is sort of expected in a car like this. There are plenty of soft touch materials used throughout the cabin, and long road trips wouldn't be a problem in this car. Being a Volvo, this car has excellent safety and a lot of advanced safety systems including lane departure warning, lane keep assist, blind spot monitor with rear cross traffic alert, pre-collision warning, auto high beam, driver attention monitor, lead car departure notification, adaptive cruise control, and oncoming lane mitigation and post-impact braking. To sum up the Volvo XC40 Recharge, I think this car is an excellent choice for someone looking for a premium, subcompact electric crossover. There are plenty of other choices as well, but this car still stands out from the crowd with a ton of safety systems and a comfortable cabin. The exterior and interior design closely resembles the internal combustion engine counterparts, so it's good for people who want a more conventional look on their electric car. The Volvo C40 Recharge is essentially the coupe version of the XC40 Recharge. So from 2022 to present, the C40 sports a sportier coupe design. It also has dual electric motors instead of the single front motor. This particular one is a dual motor version, but a single motor version is set to arrive later this year. At the time of filming, this C40 isn't available with the single front motor and is only available with the dual motor setup. The two permanent magnet synchronous motor, along with a 78 kWh lithium-ion battery pack, provides a claimed driving range of about 450 km on a full charge. Claimed energy consumption is 4.8 km per kWh, and on max 11 kW AC charging, it takes about 8 hours to fully charge this car. On max 150 kW DC fast charging, the charge time reduces to 30 minutes. Combined power outputs are 402 brake horsepower and 660 Nm of torque. Paired with all-wheel drive and a single-speed direct drive gearbox, this car accelerates from 0 to 100 km per hour in 4.7 seconds, onto a top speed of 180 km per hour. Suspension setup consists of independent McPherson struts up front and independent multi-link out back. Moving to exterior design up front, it looks a lot like the XC40 Recharge, though the side profile is where they differ. Up front, there are some body lines along the hood, tall hammer style LED daytime running lights with LED projector beam headlights and turn signals. Moving below, there's LED fog lights and a vent with gloss black design, which I don't really mind. Front and center will be this masked up front grille, which personally, I think it looks a little controversial. Down below, there will be some venting to cool the motors and batteries. To the side profile, this is where the C40 is different from the XC40. While the XC40 has a more conventional SUV body style, this C40 has a sleeker and more aerodynamic body style. For this particular unit, there's gloss black mirror caps and window surrounds, body colored door handles, body lines along the side, and some black plastic on the wheel arches. Standard for this car will be these 20-inch dual-tone alloy wheels that looks rather aerodynamic and really suits the character of this car. Round back, I think I prefer the look of the XC40 more, but anyways, all the way to the top there'll be a roof-mounted rear spoiler, or partly I guess. And moving down, the taillights are very distinctive with the way it sort of trickles down the C-pillar, while the turn signals and reverse lights are mounted on the main piece. There is some badging to the center along with a small spoiler, and all the way to the bottom will be the same matte black plastic, with two rear fog lights, and in my opinion, the rear fascia is very controversial. It might look good to some people, but personally, I don't think it works for me. Open the rear hatch and you get 413 liters of cargo space, which is slightly smaller than the XC40 Recharge because of that coupe design, and the sleek shape does affect the practicality of this car. For more cargo space, you can knock down the rear seats, which reveals a 1205 liter cargo space. Otherwise, it is a fairly standard rear cargo area, but you do get more storage up front with the little front trunk. Entering the rear seats of this car, this feels just as spacious as the XC40 despite having that sloping roof line, and everything feels very well put together. The door panels, for instance, has a solid feel with soft touch materials. The seats are very comfortable, yet again with soft cushioning and great support. The panoramic glass roof makes the interior feel airy, and long road trips wouldn't be a problem with this car. I get a lot of legroom and a good amount of headroom, although the coupe shape does slightly reduce the rear headroom. Just like the XC40, you get rear aircon vents and a fold-out armrest on the center seat, which provides added comfort. Overall, a very upscale and comfortable backseat. Moving to the front cabin of this car, the front is just as well finished. Everything from the door panel to the top of the passenger dashboard. The same wood-like design is found on the passenger dashboard, and you get the same amount of space in the glove box as the XC40. And just like the XC40, the interior has a very good design and layout with the vertical aircon vents and a vertical 9-inch touchscreen infotainment system with wired Apple CarPlay but no Android Auto. However, you now get a 13-speaker 600-watt sound system instead of the 250-watt 8-speaker sound system. As mentioned, I really like the layout of the interior with the vertical aircon vents beside the infotainment system and the audio controls that's located below it. All the way to the bottom will be the wireless charger along with a couple of charging ports. The gear lever is very well finished with leather trims, and beside that will be 2 cup holders. Behind that, there will be a lid that can be opened to reveal some storage space, and if you were to open the lid on the center armrest, you reveal plenty of space for your loose items. Taking a look from the driver's side, the standard gauges will be digital. Speedometer will be located all the way to the left, power gauge located all the way to the right, along with information such as map and advanced safety system. And since it's digital, there are plenty of customization that can be done to the design of the gauges. A multifunctional steering wheel in this car is very well designed and has a good thickness to it. Driving position is nice and high, and it's easy to find a suitable driving position. Visibility is fine, although the coupe design slightly compromises the rear visibility of this car. Overall interior build quality up front is actually very luxurious and comfortable. The bolstering and cushioning on the seats are on point, and daily driving this car would be awesome. Being a Volvo, safety is also prioritized with the same amount of features as the XC40 Recharge, so I will not list it out again. In summary, the Volvo C40 Recharge is a good car for what it is. But personally, I recommend the XC40 more because I just prefer the more conventional SUV body style and the slightly more spacious interior. But if you want more power, then this C40 is the one to get, as you only get a dual motor setup in the C40 and a single front motor setup in the XC40. At least it is at the time of filming. But let's take a look at the direct competitor and a car that's closely related to this. The Polestar 2 is only available with either a single motor standard range model or a dual motor long range model with more power. So from 2020 till present, the Polestar 2 is a compact electric liftback that also rides higher than a typical liftback, so there's a bit of crossover vibes. This is heavily related to the Volvo XC40 and C40 Recharge, as it rides on the same Volvo compact modular platform. In some markets, you can get the long range model with the single motor setup, but that's not available here. In my opinion, I think this car looks a lot better than the Volvo cars that it's related to. Let's take a closer look at this car to find out more about it. Starting with the powertrain. Powering this particular car will be 2 permanent magnet synchronous motor and a 78 kWh lithium-ion battery pack. Do keep in mind that the lower trim with a single electric motor and a smaller 69 kWh battery pack is also available. For this car, the claimed driving range is 480 km on a full charge, and the energy consumption is 5.2 km per kWh. On max 11 kW AC charging, it takes 8 hours to fully charge this car. On max 155 kW DC fast charging, it takes about 35 minutes to charge this car from 10% battery state of charge to 80% battery state of charge. Combined power outputs are 402 brake horsepower and 660 Nm of torque. Packed with all-wheel drive and a single-speed direct drive gearbox, this car accelerates from 0 to 100 km/h in 4.7 seconds, onto a top speed of 205 km/h. Suspension setup consists of independent McPherson struts and multi-link, front and rear respectively. Moving to exterior design, I really like the stylish yet sporty look of this car. There are some body lines along the hood, similar Thor hammer style LED daytime running lights with LED projector beam headlights and turn signals. Moving below, there's LED fog lights and a van with gloss black design, which I don't really mind. Front and center will be this rather good looking front grille, which I assume doesn't have any functions, as the actual venting is at the bottom to cool the batteries and motors. To the side profile, I think this car looks better than the 2 Volvos I filmed just now. For this car, there will be body color mirror caps with LED integrated turn signals, gloss black window surrounds, body color door handles, body lines along the side, and these 19-inch dual-tone alloy wheels, which actually looks really sporty. Round back of this car, the rear has a minimalistic design with the full-width LED taillights and LED turn signals, but no model or trim level badging there. All the way to the bottom, there will be a matte black plastic diffuser with light reflectors to the bottom, again with that minimalistic design. Open the rear trunk and you get 405 liters of cargo space, which can be expanded to 1095 liters after knocking down the rear seats, but either way, it's not an impressive amount. There is also a front trunk for your charging cables or loose items. Entering the rear seats of this car, the rear seats are very comfortable yet sporty. The door panels are finished in a sustainable feeling fabric, and there are some soft touch materials used there as well. The seatbelts in this car are in yellow, which I really like. It adds a sporty look to the interior, although that is only available with the dual motor version. The fabric seats feels very comfortable and sustainable at the same time, as the cushioning is very soft and long road trips wouldn't be a problem. With a lot of legroom and plenty of headroom, I feel very cozy at the back seats of this car. The rear aircon vents and a fold-out armrest on the center seat just adds a nice cozy feel to the back seats. The panoramic sunroof provides an airy feel to the interior, and overall, I like the rear seats. Moving to the front cabin of this car, it has that sustainable vibe once again with the fabric finishes along with leather trims on the door panel and passenger dashboard, although it is very well built. Just like the rear, the front also gets the fabric seats with contrast stitching and yellow seat belts, which sort of creates a sustainable yet sporty experience up front. However, you do get Google Maps and Google Assistant integrated into the system, so I guess that sort of makes up for what it lacks. Also, this car has the 250-watt 8-speaker Harman Kardon premium sound system, and I actually prefer the layout of this interior over the Volvo models as this car has a more minimalistic design on the interior. But anyways, coming in from the driver's side, the standard gauges will be digital. There are a lot of configurations that can be done to the design, showing information like speed, map, range, battery state of charge, as well as safety systems, and a lot more. A multifunctional steering wheel houses all the cruise control settings, as well as the audio controls. It has the perfect thickness, which is great for some spirited driving. As for reach and driving position, it is great. I'm about 1.75 meters tall and I can easily find a suitable driving position. By the way, the pedals are finished in aluminum and looks very sporty. Visibility is decent for a car like this, although the coupe shape does slightly affect the rear visibility. Front visibility is great and overall interior build quality up front is very premium and upscale. All of the touch points are well finished and it has a premium yet contemporary look to the interior. Advanced safety systems includes adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, front pre-collision warning, auto high beam, driver attention monitor, and oncoming lane mitigation and post-impact braking. All things considered, the Polestar 2 electric dual motor is an excellent choice, although there are a lot of competitors. This car looks very unique and has a better interior design and quality than some of the car's key competitors. Not to mention the incredible comfort and great style. In my personal opinion, I prefer this car over the Volvo XC40 and C40 Recharge, as those look a bit controversial and they have similar prices. Interior quality is similar among these three cars, but the Polestar 2 definitely has a more sporty feel. With that, I'll wrap up the walk around tour of some of the electric cars from Volvo and Polestar. Thanks for watching and feel free to subscribe.